Audio 8.4 Concept of Syllabus and Curriculum Overt and Hidden Dimensions. Situation 46 The PISA Challenge PISA Challenge. As the principal of a KVS, you are tasked with preparing students for assessments like PISA, Program for International Student Assessment, which focus on the application of knowledge in real life context rather than curriculum recall. You observe that your school's current teaching methodology is heavily focused on textbook based, summative exam oriented learning. Develop a comprehensive strategy to reorient your school's pedagogical approach towards developing the competencies assessed by PISA. Number A. What is the core philosophical shift required in teaching? Number B. What is one change you would implement in classroom teaching? Number C. What is one change you would implement in student assessment? Preparing for PISA requires a fundamental transformation of the school's educational philosophy, moving from a content-centric to a competency-centric model. Number A. The core philosophical shift is from learning what to learning how. Teachers must move beyond ensuring students knows facts and formulas to focusing on whether students can use their knowledge to solve unfamiliar real-world problems. This means prioritizing critical thinking, problem solving, and analytical reasoning skills over rote memorization of curriculum content. Number B. In classroom teaching, I would mandate the integration of problem based learning PBL. Instead of starting a chapter with a definition, teachers should begin with a complex real life problem related to the topic. Students working in groups would then need to research, discuss, and apply concepts from their learning to arrive at a solution mirroring the PISA approach. Number C. In assessment, I would introduce competency based formative assessments. These would be low stakes regular assessments featuring PISA style questions that require students to interpret data, evaluate arguments, and apply knowledge in novel context. The goal of these assessments would not be to grade students but to provide feedback to both students and teachers on the development of specific competencies. Situation 47. As a school leader, you are responsible for ensuring 100% inclusion within all overt curricular activities. Number A. What does 100% inclusion mean in this context? Number B. Describe two specific barriers that might prevent this and a strategy to overcome each. Achieving 100% inclusion to overt curricular activities is about moving beyond mere physical presence to ensuring meaningful participation for every single student. Number A. In this context, 100% inclusion means that all planned curricular and co-curricular activities from classroom projects and science fairs to sports and annual day functions are designed and conducted in a way that every student, regardless of their ability, gender, socioeconomic background, or learning style, can participate actively and meaningfully. It is about proactively identifying and removing all barriers to participation. Number B. A common barrier is inaccessible infrastructure for students with physical disabilities. A strategy to overcome this is to conduct a thorough accessibility audit of all venues, labs, playgrounds, stages, and implement necessary modifications like ramps or accessible seating. Another barrier is socioeconomic status, where costs associated with projects or trips exclude poorer students. A strategy here is to create a school level equity fund to subsidize or waive these costs discreetly, ensuring financial constraints do not hinder participation. Situation 48. Explain the teacher as a curricular Explain the teacher as a curriculum developer concept. Why is this autonomy important for effective teaching? The concept of the teacher as a curriculum developer reframes the teacher's role from a passive implementer of a prescribed syllabus to an active, thoughtful professional who shapes the learning experience. While the broad curriculum is set by educational boards, this concept recognizes that the teacher has the autonomy and responsibility to design the specific pedagogical vehicles to deliver that curriculum. This includes selecting appropriate teaching methods, creating supplementary materials to bridge gaps in textbooks, and designing assessments that are relevant to their specific students' needs and context. This autonomy is crucial for effective teaching because it allows for professional judgment and responsiveness. Every classroom is unique with students who have different learning styles, prior knowledge, and interests. A one size fits all rigidly implemented curriculum is often ineffective. Teacher autonomy allows them to adapt the curriculum to make it engaging and comprehensible for their particular students. It empowers them to address unforeseen learning gaps, connect topics to local context, and innovating their practice, leading to a more dynamic, effective, and professionally fulfilling teaching environment. Situation 49. The null curriculum. During a curriculum review meeting, a social studies teacher points out that while their class 10 history textbook covers national independence movements in detail, it completely omits the contributions of regional and tribal leaders from their specific state. He argues this is an example of the null curriculum that devalues local history. Other teachers are hesitant to deviate from the prescribed notebook. As the principal, how would you address this issue? Propose a solution that respects the prescribed syllabus while also addressing the identified gap from the null curriculum. This situation presents a classic example of the null curriculum where the omission of certain topics sends a powerful message about their lack of importance. My approach would be to validate the teacher's concern and facilitate a solution that enriches rather than replaces the existing syllabus. I would formally acknowledge that while the textbook provides the core framework we must follow, it is not exhaustive. Our professional duty includes making learning relevant and comprehensive for our students. The solution would be to initiate a mandatory graded interdisciplinary project for class 10 on regional contributions to the freedom struggle. This project would require students to use library resources, conduct interviews with local elders, or visit local museums to research and present on the very figures omitted from their textbook. This approach is pedagogically sound as it addresses the null curriculum, teaches research skills, connect students to their local heritage, and can be mapped to co-curricular assessment criteria, all while ensuring the prescribed textbook syllabus is also completed. Situation 15. How does the planned curriculum differ from the hidden curriculum? Number A. Define both planned curriculum and hidden curriculum. Number B. Provide a specific example from a school setting where the two might be in direct conflict. These two forms of curriculum represent the explicit intentions and implicit realities of the educational experience within a school. Number A. The planned curriculum or overt curriculum is the formal, written, and intentional plan for learning. It includes the syllabus, textbooks, lesson plans, and learning objectives set by educational authorities. It is what the school it is what the school explicitly states it will teach. The hidden curriculum, in contrast, consists of the unwritten, unofficial, and often unintended lessons, values, and norms that students learn through the school's culture, social structure, and daily rituals. It is what students learn about authority, hierarchy, and social behavior simply by being in school. Number B. A direct conflict can occur in the context of moral education. The planned curriculum might include lessons on honesty and integrity. However, if the school's hidden curriculum tolerates a culture of cheating in exams where teachers look the other way or the pressure to achieve high scores is so intense that students feel compelled to be dishonest. Students receive a conflicting message. They learn that while honesty is an ideal to be written about in exams, dishonesty is a practical strategy for success in the real school environment. Situation 51. The principal as a change agent. A school is transitioning from the 1986 policy framework to the competency based framework of NEP 2020. Many senior teachers are comfortable with their long standing content focused teaching methods and view the new requirements for experiential and interdisciplinary learning with skepticism and anxiety. As the principal and change manager outline a two-phase strategy to manage this transition smoothly, focusing on building teacher buy-in and capacity. Number A. What would be your strategy in phase 1, the buy-in phase? Number B. What would be your strategy in phase 2, the capacity building phase? Managing this significant pedagogical shift requires a thoughtful, empathetic strategy that addresses both the psychological and practical needs of the teaching staff. Number A. In phase 1, the buy-in phase, my focus would be on creating a shared understanding and reducing anxiety. I would initiate a series of non-evaluative study circles where teachers can read and discuss the core principles of NEP 2020 in a safe space. I would also invite principals or teachers from schools that have already begun this transition to share their experiences, both successes and challenges. This peer to peer sharing is often more convincing than top down directives and helps demystify the change. Number B. In phase 2, the capacity building phase, the focus shifts to providing practical skills and support. I would organize hands on subject specific workshops on designing competency based lesson plans and assessments. Crucially, I would establish a peer coaching program pairing teachers who are early adopters of the new methods with those who are more hesitant. This provides ongoing classroom based support and encourages collaborative problem solving, building confidence and competence gradually and effectively. Situation 52. Discuss the interplay between the curriculum and a school's assessment system with a special reference to the backwards design model. Number A. Explain the traditional relationship between curriculum and assessment. Number B. How does the backwards design model invert this relationship? Number C. What is the main advantage of adopting this inverted model for curriculum planning. The relationship between curriculum and assessment is fundamental to the effectiveness of any educational program, and the backwards design model offers a powerful alternative to traditional planning. Number A. In the traditional model, the relationship is linear and sequential. Educators typically start with the prescribed curriculum or textbook, plan a series of instructional activities and lessons to cover the content, and only at the end design an assessment like a test or exam to measure what students have learned. Assessment is often an afterthought. Number B. The backwards design model inverts this process. It starts with the end goal, identifying the desired learning outcomes and competencies. The second step is to design the final assessments that will reliably measure whether students have achieved these outcomes. Only after the assessment is created does the planner design the learning activities and instruction with the specific goal of preparing students for that assessment. Number C. The main advantage of this inverted model is purpose and alignment. By starting with the assessment of desired outcomes, every instructional design, every activity, every lesson is purposefully designed to help students achieve the end goal. This eliminates activities that are fun but pointless and ensures a tight alignment between what is taught, how it is taught, and what is assessed, leading to more focused teaching and deeper student learning. Situation 53. Analyze the statement. The textbook should be seen as one window to the world, not the only window. That are the implications of this perspective for a principal's role in guiding curriculum transaction. This statement powerfully encapsulates the modern enlightened view of the role of textbooks in education. It argues that while a textbook provides a structured and valuable starting point, a window, it is inherently limited in its scope and perspective. Relying on it as the sole source of knowledge presents a narrow and often sanitized view of the world. It can stifle curiosity and critical thinking by implying that all important knowledge is contained within its pages. The perspective advocates for a multimodal approach to learning where the textbook is a foundational resource but not the definitive one. For a principal, the implication is that their role must shift from merely ensuring textbook completion to fostering a resource rich learning environment. This means they must actively encourage and empower teachers to go beyond the textbook. This involves promoting the use of the school library, curating reliable digital resources, facilitating guest lectures, and encouraging project based learning that connects classroom topics to real world issues. The principal becomes a facilitator of a dynamic curriculum, not just a monitor of a static one. Situation 54. A teacher complains a teacher complains that the spiral curriculum approach leads to students becoming bored as they feel they are learning the same thing over and over again. As a principal and instructional leader, how would you address this misconception and guide the teacher toward a correct implementation of the spiral approach? This complaint signals a fundamental misunderstanding of the spiral curriculum's core principle, which is not mere repetition but a deepening of complexity. My first step would be to address this misconception directly in a supportive one-on-one conversation. I would explain that the feeling of boredom arises from flat spiraling, where the topic is repeated at the same level of difficulty. The true essence of Brunner's model is that each time a concept is revisited, it must be at a higher level of abstraction and in a new, more complex context. To guide the teacher, I would use a concrete example. If the topic is fractions, I would collaboratively map out how it should spiral, introduced with physical objects in class 2, represented on a number line in class 3, used in addition, subtraction problems in class 4, and applied to percentage and ratio problems in class 6. I would then ask the teacher to develop a similar spiral map for their own topic, focusing on how the cognitive demand will increase at each stage. This practical exercise helps transform their understanding from repetition to progressive reinforcement. Situation 55. Distinguish between co-curricular and extracurricular activities and explain their integrated role in the total curriculum. While often used interchangeably, co-curricular and extracurricular activities have distinct relationships with the academic curriculum. Co-curricular activities are directly linked to and supplement the academic curriculum. They are extensions of classroom learning designed to provide practical application and a deeper understanding of theoretical concepts. Examples include participating in a science exhibition, a debate club related to social studies topics, or a mathematics Olympiad. These activities are often planned and integrated into the school's academic calendar and may carry academic credit or assessment weight. Extracurricular activities, on the other hand, are pursuits that fall outside the realm of the formal academic curriculum. Their main purpose is to develop talent, interests, and skills in areas like sports, arts, hobbies, or community service. While not directly tied to a specific subject, they are vital to the total curriculum as they foster holistic development, teaching crucial life skills such as teamwork, discipline, leadership, and resilience. Both types of activities are indispensable for shaping a well rounded individual, moving beyond mere academic proficiency. Situation 56. The mess hall as a classroom. In Navodaya Vidyalaya, the principal observes that the daily rituals in the student mess hall are chaotic. There are issues with food wastage, lack of discipline queues, in, in, in queues, and a general disregard for cleanliness. The principal believes this space represents a significant yet untapped component of the school's lived curriculum. Propose a strategy to transform the mess hall rituals into a positive learning experience for students. Number A. What specific values can be taught through mess hall rituals? Number B. Describe two practical initiatives the principal could launch to instill these values. The mess hall in a residential school is a powerful informal classroom for teaching essential life skills and community values. Number A. Mess hall rituals can be a primary vehicle for teaching values such as discipline, waiting patiently in a queue, responsibility, not wasting food, and cleaning one's own space, equity, ensuring fair distribution of food, and community service, students taking turns to help serve. It also offers a daily lesson in a basic etiquette and gratitude. Number B. First, the principal could launch a student led mess committee under the guidance of a teacher. This committee would be responsible for monitoring and managing the mess, creating awareness posters about reducing food wastage, and introducing a cleanest table of the week award. This fosters a sense of ownership and peer accountability. Second, the principal could introduce a system of dining hall duties on a rotational basis for all students, including seniors. This could involve tasks like helping serve food or supervising the cleaning, reinforcing the dignity of labor and the idea that everyone is responsible for the community's well being. Situation 57. As a principal, you are leading a vertical and horizontal alignment meeting for the science department. Number A. What is the primary goal of the horizontal alignment discussion for class 9? Number B. What is the primary goal of the vertical alignment discussion between the teachers of class 8, 9 and 10? Curriculum alignment meetings are crucial for ensuring a coherent and effective instructional program, eliminating gaps and redundancies in student learning. Number A. The primary goal of the horizontal alignment discussion for class 9 is to ensure consistency and equity in the learning experience for all students in that grade, regardless of which section or teacher they are assigned. The discussion would focus on agreeing upon a common pacing calendar for topics, developing common formative and summative assessments, and establishing shared expectations for the rigor of assignments and projects. This ensures that every class 9 student has an equal opportunity to master the curriculum. Number B. The primary goal of the vertical alignment discussion is to ensure a smooth, logical, and non-repetitive progression of learning from one grade level to the next. The class 8 teacher, the class 8th teacher would articulate the foundational skills and knowledge students have upon entering class 9. The class 9 teacher would then explain how they build upon that foundation, and the class 10 teacher would specify the competencies they expect from incoming students to succeed in the board examination year. This dialogue helps identify and fix gaps for or unnecessary overlaps in the curriculum. Situation 58. Critically analyze the role of school rituals such as the process of lining up for assembly or classes in shaping student behavior through the hidden curriculum. School rituals like lining up, while seemingly mundane, are powerful mechanisms of the hidden curriculum that socialize students into a specific mode of behavior. The act of forming straight, silent lines before entering a classroom or assembly hall is a daily drill in order and conformity. It implicitly it implicitly teaches student the value the institution places on discipline, orderliness, and collective obedience over individuality and spontaneous expression. The ritual reinforces the power structure of the school where students must physically arrange themselves in a prescribed manner in response to an authoritative command from a teacher or a bell. While this can be seen positively as fostering discipline, a critical analysis reveals a potential downside. If overemphasized, such rituals can promote a culture of unthinking compliance and submissiveness. It can teach students that their role is to follow instructions without question, which may conflict with the overt curriculum's goal of fostering critical thinking, and agency. A principal must be mindful of this, balancing the need for order with opportunities for students' self regulation and expression, ensuring that discipline does not devolve into a mere exercise in control. Situation 59. A principal challenge. A principal in a KBS located in a multicultural urban area notices that the school's cultural programs and annual day celebrations predominantly feature performances and themes reflecting the majority culture of the region. Students from minority linguistic and cultural backgrounds rarely see their heritage represented, leading to a feeling of exclusion. How does this situation reflect a failure in managing the school's hidden and null curriculum? As the principal, what concrete steps would you take to make the school's cultural life more inclusive? This scenario reflects a dual failure. It is a failure of the hidden curriculum because the consistent, albeit, albeit unintentional promotion of one culture over others sends a silent message that minority cultures are less valued. This can negatively impact the self esteem and sense of belonging of students from these backgrounds. It is also a failure of the null curriculum, as the omission of diverse culture expressions from such a significant school event effectively renders them invisible and unimportant in the school's lived experience, depriving all students of a rich multicultural education. To rectify this, my first step would be to form a cultural committee with diverse student and teacher representation. This committee would be tasked with creating a calendar of cultural events that celebrates festivals and heritage from a wide range of communities present in the school. Second, for the annual day, I would mandate a theme like Incredible India's Diversity and require that every performance block represents a different state or cultural tradition. This ensures that the stage becomes a platform for celebrating all students' heritages, transforming it into a lesson in unity and diversity. Situation 60. Managing curricular innovation. A principal wants to introduce an innovative interdisciplinary project week where normal timetable is suspended and students work on projects connecting subjects like science, art, and social studies. Veteran teachers are resistant, citing concerns about syllabus completion for the board exams. As a leader managing this curricular innovation, devise a strategy to address the teachers' concerns and pilot the project successfully. Number A. How would you address the teacher's primary concern about syllabus completion? Number B. What is the purpose of running a pilot project in this context? Number C. How would you structure the pilot project to maximize its chances of success and teacher buy-in? Introducing innovation requires a strategy that respects teachers' valid concerns while demonstrating the value of the new approach. Number A. I would address the syllabus concern by using a curriculum mapping approach. I would ask the teachers to work with me to map the project's activities directly to specific learning outcomes and topics within their existing syllabi. By demonstrating that the project is not an extra activity but a more engaging and effective way to achieve existing curricular goals, their primary concern can be mitigated. Number B. The purpose of a pilot project is to test the innovation on a small, manageable scale. This reduces the risk of large scale failure, allows for the identification and resolution of unforeseen challenges, and provides concrete evidence of the project's benefits. A successful pilot acts as a powerful proof of concept to convince other skeptical staff members. Number C. I would structure the pilot by starting with a single enthusiastic class or a small group of volunteer teachers. I would provide them with extra planning time and resources. The project would be short, perhaps 2 days instead of a full week, and focused on a highly engaging topic. After the pilot, I would ensure the participating teachers and students present their work and experiences to the rest of the staff, letting the positive results speak for themselves.